I don't really get to stand up for myself. I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. I've been sexualized.
What an embarrassment. I want you guys to remember that clip as we go through the rest of this video. More specifically, I want you to remember Angel Reese doing what WNBA players do best, whining and complaining, painting themselves as the ultimate victim. Angel Reese was doing this before she even quit professional basketball at LSU to become a professional pretender in the WNBA dump. That clip was from April 1st, 2024, 5, maybe 6 weeks before Angel Reese was fitted for her hard hat and steel-toed boots to become a rookie dump diver in the WNBA. I know the media likes to claim that Angel Reese is the face of the WNBA. I know the media likes to claim that Angel Reese is the reason that normal people are now watching pretend basketball. But what happened on New Year's Eve, what Angel Reese brought on herself, it's another example of the clear difference between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. This is pure speculation on my part, but I don't think Angel Reese has anyone in her corner that is willing to tell her no. I don't think Angel Reese has anyone in her circle that's willing to say, you know, don't do that. That's not a good idea. Part of me actually feels bad for Angel Reese. Sometimes we forget, myself included, that these athletes are very young. Angel Reese is only 22 years old. But Casey, so is Caitlin Clark, and she doesn't embarrass herself like this. Yeah, that's true. But not everyone matures at the same age. At 22 years old, I was a maniac. There are times when I look back on my 20s and I think about all the time that I wasted. Time wasted in bars, time wasted in nightclubs, time wasted with so-called careers that were really just jobs. Sometimes I think about where I would be right now if I had listened to my instincts and started my channel 10 or 15 years ago. However, I don't regret it, because if I had what I have now when I was that age, if I had what I have now when I was in my 20s, I would not know how to handle it. I wouldn't have the discipline to maintain the schedule here on the channel. Wouldn't have the discipline to keep up with paying taxes. For those that don't know, YouTube doesn't withhold taxes when they pay us every month. We are responsible for keeping up with it. We are responsible for setting aside that money. And if you're not disciplined, you can find yourself in deep shit with a quickness. If I had the platform that I have now in my 20s, more than likely, I wouldn't have it for very long, because at that age, I didn't have the maturity to handle it. I probably would have been thrown off of YouTube for saying something stupid. My stubborn, hard-headed ass would have wasted time trying to fight the system. A fight that would ultimately result in me losing everything. At 22 years old, I didn't have the wisdom and maturity to handle success, which is why part of me feels bad for Angel Reese, because I can relate to the mistakes that she is making. I can relate to being young and naive. But even though I feel bad for her, that doesn't change the fact that Angel Reese is constantly humiliating herself. Doesn't change the fact that Angel Reese is destroying her mainstream appeal. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel in the description below. This morning on the second channel, we talked about Aaron Rodgers potentially playing his final game in the NFL on Sunday. In a press conference this week, Aaron Rodgers hinted at retirement. So if you haven't already, head over to the second channel and check it out. While the rest of us were watching the fireworks, or maybe you were working hard on your New Year's hangover, Angel Reese, she was busy making a fool of herself. For the better part of a year, Angel Reese has whined and complained about being sexualized by lonely men. I'm so scared. Lonely men keep messaging me on Twitter asking how much I charge per hour. They treat me like an OnlyFans model. Why won't they respect my ability to miss wide open layups? I want to be known as a pretend basketball player. Why are lonely men looking at me and spanking the waker? Oh! You know how when you were growing up, your parents, your grandparents, they would constantly tell you you are who your friends are? If you're hanging out with Cheech and Chong, you're asleep on the couch drooling watching How High. If you're hanging out with Tweek and Tommy, you're probably staring out the aluminum foil covered window thinking Adam Silver and the aliens are coming to abduct you. If you're constantly posting bikini pictures on Instagram, if you're constantly posting pictures of yourself where you're basically wearing nothing, you're leaving absolutely nothing to the imagination, then you're likely going to develop a following of lonely men who request new spanking material every day. You set the expectation of how people are going to treat you. Have you ever noticed we never hear about the sexualization of Caitlin Clark? We never hear about the sexualization of Bob Griner. All kidding aside, though, why don't we see Caitlin Clark being sexualized? Because Caitlin Clark doesn't allow it. I have been covering Caitlin Clark for 2 years. You know how many times I have seen Caitlin Clark in a bikini? You know how many times I have seen her dressed like she is going to work on OnlyFans? None. Caitlin Clark is treated like a professional basketball player because that's how she presents herself to the public. With Angel Reese, it's the complete opposite. New Year's Eve, Angel Reese posted a video on Instagram where she claimed to be clapping back at the haters. Grow up. Would you please grow up? How in the hell are you clapping back at the haters by exploiting yourself? The only thing Angel Reese accomplished on New Year's Eve was validating her critics. I'm going to show you a little bit of the video that she posted. Can't show too much of it. I don't know if it would violate the community guidelines here on YouTube or not. What I do know is I'm not taking that risk for Angel Reese. You want to see the full video? It's easy to find on social media, but check it out for yourself. Is it any wonder why Angel Reese is viewed the way she is? Is it any wonder why Angel Reese is not taken seriously? You know what I think this is? This is a desperate cry for attention. This is Angel Reese begging to be noticed. But the real question is, why? Why is Angel Reese willing to humiliate herself to be noticed on social media? Why is Angel Reese willing to embarrass herself to receive validation from lonely dudes? Angel Reese was heavily criticized for posting this video, and rightfully so. According to the Daily Mail, the criticism was so harsh, Angel Reese, she deleted her Instagram. She deleted her cash cow. She deleted one of her revenue streams. But the video is the symptom to the real problem. Throughout their careers, and this will probably be the case for the rest of their careers, but throughout their career, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, they have been compared to each other. Whether it's fair or not doesn't really matter. It's the reality. Think back to last season in the WNBA dump. Hell, think back to their time playing professional basketball in college. Angel Reese wins the national championship. Who was everyone talking about? Caitlin Clark. Last year, Angel Reese went on an historic streak of fake double-doubles. The media was incessant with their promotion of Angel Reese. Even though she was clearly stat padding, the media, they were treating this streak like it was real. That streak was as real as a fake fight in the WWE. But even with the constant promotion from the mainstream media, who were people talking about? Caitlin Clark. This is no disrespect to Angel Reese, but let's just be real here. Right now, she is living in the shadow of Katie Rue. So how can she get attention? What is the one thing that she can do that she knows Caitlin Clark isn't willing to do? Angel Reese can exploit herself. Angel Reese can use her feminine powers. The problem, though, with that approach, it's not sustainable long term. You think careers in professional sports are short? Go look at careers in the I don't want to call it the adult industry because that is not what Angel Reese is doing here, but you get what I'm saying. You can't rely on self-exploitation because your timeline to use it is short. Eventually, you age out of the demo, and it doesn't take long to age out because there are fresh faces turning 18 every year. 10 years from now, hell, even by this time next year, no one is going to remember what Angel Reese did on New Year's Eve. More than likely, this embarrassment, it will be forgotten by this time next week, which is probably why Angel Reese feels the need to constantly feed the machine. But the point is, Angel Reese is seeking short-term validation. She is seeking short-term attention while possibly sacrificing her legacy. And I'm starting to wonder, if the constant comparisons to Caitlin Clark, the mainstream attention that Caitlin Clark receives, I'm starting to wonder if that is the reason Angel Reese keeps doing this. I don't know. What I do know is someone in her inner circle needs to tell her no. It's one thing to pose for the swimsuit edition. It's one thing to model bikinis for whatever designer brand is popular right now. But it is completely different when you're exploiting yourself on social media for attention. We hear complaints from WNBA players all the time about them not being taken seriously. We constantly hear these complaints from WNBA players that they're not treated the same as the men. I wonder why. Hard to be taken seriously when you're not taking yourself seriously. But give me your thoughts on this. Angel Reese uploads a provocative video on Instagram where it appears that she was seeking the attention and validation of lonely men. The criticism was so harsh, Angel Reese deleted her Instagram account. Why is Angel Reese doing this? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Best way to contact me is through email, btlkc84@gmail.com. I'll see you guys later.